Hello, Robyn.
Hi, Maggie.
Thank you for joining me today. Why don't you tell our audience who you are and how we know each other?
So my name is Robyn O'Brien, and I am in the Business Development Division at Miranda Real Estate Group. And I know Maggie from just our work environment, and we socialize at work events.
Yep.
And we see each other around the office.
Yep, because I'm a licensed agent.
Because you're a licensed agent,
Yep.
and absolutely with our group.
And I just found out that you're a licensed agent too. I had no idea you had your real estate license.
Yes, I do. I have my real estate license, but I don't actually go out in the field. I stay in the office so that I am a support system for the agents, for our clients, and we structure our team like that so that we give our clients the utmost customer support we can.
I don't want to downgrade what you do because you have a huge role in Miranda Real Estate Group. You are, as your business cards say, you're in the business development, but I feel like that's just a fancy term for inside sales.
Right.
So
right. Essentially, yes.
Okay, so explain what your role is on a day-to-day basis.
So on a day-to-day,
the time you get into the office.
Right. So on a day-to-day basis, what I do is anybody that inquires about buying or selling a home or has questions about anything with regards to real estate, whether it be they call into the office or they register online, it comes into me, it streamlines into me, into certain systems that I use, and I call them, and based on what their wants, needs are, I then assign that customer to one of our agents.
Okay, cool.
And so we all work together, very cohesive, and in helping, the client,
the company customer. And customers. And
yes.
Everything. Yeah, because this real estate is a very relationship-driven job.
Yes.
And so a big part of your role here in the company is to develop and nurture relationships.
Create the relationship,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So walk me through the process, how ring, 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 or knock, knock, knock. How does the process start, and how do you connect with people?
So what I do is, when I get that person on the phone, whether it be Maggie from looking to sell property at 72 Smith Street, so I would call you, I would talk with you and find out your situation. Why everybody has a story.
Yeah.
So what's your story?
Yeah.
And, are you looking to, sell and move out of state? Are you retiring? Are you downsizing? Whatever the case may be, that's my job to find out. And, that's how I create the relationship. And then based on what their story is, I learn a lot about them and they learn about me. And then depending on where, you're selling or buying, I set you up with one of our agents, and our agents are actually the ones that go out in the field. I'm an agent too, again, but I do stay in the office, and I do that so that they always have a voice. Yeah. Our agents like yourself could be at a showing or a closing. That's why I don't leave the office, so that there's 100%, there's a voice. I'm a voice for them all the time.
So you're on the phone pretty much all day, every day?
Yes, on the phone, doing other stuff too besides, being on the phone, but making appointments. Yeah. And then once, say, you're at an appointment, then it's my job to follow up and give a courtesy call, find out how your appointment went, making sure that the customer, they think it's a good match. If it's not a good match, why isn't it a good match? What can I do to help to make it a good match?
So what did you go to school for? Did you go to school for sales?
Fashion merchandising.
No way.
That, yeah. And then actually when I was maybe 21 or 22 years old, my mom's best friend worked for AT&T in the telecommunications. And I don't know, she saw the sales light bulb go off in her head for me. And she brought me in, she hired me to work with her. And then I kind of never left sales.
Really?
Yeah.
So you went to school for fashion merchandising.
Yeah.
And you ended up in cell phone sales.
Cell phone sales. I worked for 3 different telecommunication companies. And I was in actually outside sales.
Okay.
So I was traveling all over. I was not in the office.
Okay.
My office was my home office. So, at home. I was traveling all over. And then I wanted something that was more structured. So I got connected with a property management company, worked for the property management company for a few years, loved it, renting apartments to people. And again, creating relationships. It's just an innate ability, I think, that I have, which I'm very grateful for, because I think I subconsciously, just create that relationship and not even realizing it. And so that was great. Love that. But then I left because I had my 2 kids.
Okay. How many years did you work for the phone company? And can you share what made you so good at this job?
I mean, I was probably there for, 20 years.
20 years?
Of experience with all in sales jobs.
Okay.
Between telecommunications, different technology companies, property management, a good probably 20 years, I would say. Because I'm just under 50.
Wow.
I'll be 50 this year. So, so I have, that's all I know is sales. And, I just always loved to help people. And, I think because I am very organized and I can multitask and I'm a very good judge of character, I think that that's a great recipe for a good salesperson. And, I don't look at myself and say, oh, you're a great salesperson. But sometimes when I'm talking to people, I recognize that, wow, I see the difference between myself and somebody else.
Yeah. What differences?
Just, the ability to realize when you're talking to somebody on the other end, how you need to change your personality, how you need to, understand that, this is somebody that has a very dominant personality that you need to, be quick with, or somebody that you need to explain everything in layman's terms, so you need to be slow. And you need to, or if someone's in a hurry, you need to figure out a way to, get back in touch, but in a quick way.
Sales has this misconception of somebody being annoying, and at least in my mind, your typical door-to-door salesman, and calling all the time, and there's so many books about sales and how to be a good salesperson, and what is it about a job in sales that those skills that you possess that has helped you excel?
Well, I feel like, first of all, as a salesperson, you can't come across as being desperate, because people don't want to work with somebody that's desperate and, is not listening to them. You need to allow people to be heard. You have to step back and let them talk. When I am talking to somebody on the phone and trying to book an appointment, I let them know that I'm interviewing them just as much as they're interviewing me. I'm not just going to make an appointment with somebody just to make an appointment. That's not what I do, because we may not be the right fit. So I'm, again, not just taking anyone or making, any appointment I can. And I'm letting people know that, this is what we provide, and this is why I want to help you, and this is why I think I can help you. But we're both interviewing each other, and it's an important process, especially in real estate.
Yeah.
Real estate,
That's so true. I guess I've thought about it that way in terms myself as being a salesperson and knowing whether or not the client and I would be a good fit for each other. But in let's say I don't know, retail or other sales jobs, in order to be a good salesperson, you don't want to seem desperate or
right.
needing the sale or whatever.
Right.
So
I give them the tools that they need to base their decision, on what I've given them. And again, I don't come across as, oh my God, I need this. I come across as
helping.
This is, exactly. I'm helping you, so that we're on the same page, and hopefully we can work together. But it's not the end of the world if we don't. But it would be great if we did. Yeah. And if you don't, you move on to the next.
Do you make a lot of calls, or do you receive a lot of calls?
I make a lot of calls, and I also receive a lot of calls. And in the interim, I'm texting and email. There's a lot of communication that goes on based on what method the customer client prefers, because people are at work, people are busy. I can't just rely on talking to them on the phone. Sometimes we text and email, and it's a great solution for people that are at work all day, or calling them after work or on their lunch break.
How does somebody come across as not being annoying or like, calling too much or texting? Like, do you take it on like a case by case basis? Are you like, I'm just going to call you 10 times until you answer? Or what approach do you take?
Basically, what I say, if I called you today and I said, "Hi Maggie, it's Robyn with Miranda Real Estate Group. I saw you registered on our site. Are you looking, are you looking for property?" And you say to me, "Oh my gosh, I'm at work. I can't talk." I say, "I completely understand." I said, "Do you want me to call you back on your lunch break or after work?" And based on that response, mostly they'll say, they give me an answer. If they don't, I say, "You know what? It's okay. I'll check back with you in a few days or next week. Have a great day." And then at that. And then in a few days, I call them back again, or I also follow up with a text and an email and communicate that way, because text is huge for this. Everybody texts. I mean, everybody does. And it is, again, a great method when you can't talk on the phone at work.
Yeah. So I came to you like a couple months ago because I'm somebody that I tend to struggle with phone conversations with people. Once I meet somebody in person, then I feel like I'm great, but like I have that wall, or I struggle with the initial phone conversation, and I'm the type of person that's nervous to like be that annoying salesperson.
Right.
So what advice would you give to somebody like me who's not necessarily as strong on the phone as like you are? How can somebody get past that?
Well, I just think that you have to be confident, because when you exude that confidence, they hear that over the phone, and they're more apt to talk with you. I think when you're a little more reluctant, people are kind of like, "Yeah, no, thank you." But if you're strong and you stand tall, and you can kind of just, you feel different and you kind of overcome that. But just know what you're talking about. Know what you're talking about when you call someone. Do your research, whether it be they're looking to sell a house. Do just have the questions answered in your head that they may ask, and just, I think sales is tough. I think it's tough. Very tough, and I don't consider myself like book smart, but I consider myself street smart, if that makes sense. Because I think that when you have that, when you're street smart, you kind of have that savvy way of thinking, and that's not something someone can teach to you. You have your real estate license for a reason, so you know what you're doing. So just don't let them dictate to you. Don't let them make you nervous. Just be yourself and be confident. And I think when you have that mindset of feeling confident and feeling good about yourself, it just, it comes right out.
Yeah. So if somebody's not necessarily in real estate sales, but they're in, I don't know, let's say retail, or they want to ask for a raise, or they are, I guess this is more negotiating, but like some ways that, sales is like all around us, it's not just in buying and selling houses. So like, can you share, share your story of like how you used your background in sales when you were like traveling to Vermont and you were selling a phone system and you got pulled over?
Yes. So yeah, I did, because I was speeding because there was traffic and I was late for an appointment. And I had gotten pulled over many years ago, and I said to the police officer, I said, "Oh my gosh, what did I do?" And he said that I was speeding, and I said, "Oh my gosh, officer," I explained that I was in a hurry, that, I could pop my trunk and show him the phones in there. Like, I had to get to an appointment and I was really concerned about it. And it was the way that I delivered, and I didn't do it on purpose. It's just, it came naturally for me, and I was confident, but yet I was like in a panic, but not in a panic because I got pulled over. I was in a panic because I was gonna be late for my appointment. Most people may, a lot of people may be like, oh my God, well, I was like, I don't have time for this. Oh my gosh. And I said, can I get pulled over later? And he actually thought that it was hysterical, the whole situation. And I ended up not getting a ticket, but selling them phones. The police.
Is crazy.
Yes. And
you got pulled over because you were speeding, and you talked your way out of a speeding ticket, and you sold them a phone system.
Yes, and it was not even intentional.
I know.
It just happened.
Yeah.
And it was like amazing. It was just, the whole thing when I really thought about it, because here I'm saying, officer, I don't have time. Please, can you pull me over later on my way home? I promise. And it's actually, when you think about it, like, oh my, like I thought about it after. At the moment, I didn't think about it. I was like, oh, phew, okay. And then afterward, I was like, did that just really happen?
So did you go to your appointment and then stop at the police station on your way home?
Yeah, this again was 20 years ago, so this was like definitely a long time ago. I had stayed in touch, and what I did is I went back out and made an appointment and met with the team.
But still, that's like, that's so funny.
That's my favorite story, but I don't share that with many people.
I appreciate you sharing that, because it just goes to show that like you can use sales, in all areas of your life.
And it wasn't me
work.
trying to be like, oh my God, can I get out of the ticket?
Yeah,
I was literally like, I can't be late for the appointment. Oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be. And he thought it was funny. He thought it was really funny that I'm asking him, can I get the ticket later? And, and I mean, it was a really, like, thinking back, like a really like unbelievable experience.
Unbelievable.
Like, wow, did I really do that?
Yeah.
But yet I didn't mean to. It just
It
happened.
came naturally to you.
It just happened.
Yeah. So what is one of the most common misconceptions about somebody who works in sales, whether it's, your line of sales, you're helping people building relationships. So what's a common misconception?
Well, I think that people just think that we're just kind of in it for the money. Like, we don't really care about their personal well-being. And, for me, that's the farthest thing from the truth, because, for me, a lot of clients I work with, I depend on the referrals. I love the referrals because there's a little history there. And it's such a good feeling when somebody calls me and says, you know what, John Smith referred me. He said you were wonderful and he referred me to you. I love that because I know I'm doing a good job. So, just not coming across and just not coming across as, just being that desperate salesperson that, when you go into some retail stores, the salespeople will come right up to you and they're kind of, all over you, and they just sometimes don't back off. And I don't blame them. That's the way that they are told they have to be. It's not their fault. But yet at the same time, at some point, I'll come to you, but give me a chance to come to you. So, I think, of course, selling homes is a much bigger investment than, a bottle of lotion. So I really can't compare the two. But I like to, when I'm talking to, our customers, I don't want them to feel pressured. I want them to feel like they need me more than I need them.
Right. That's a really good point. That's a really good nugget. You want people to feel like they need you more than you need them.
Absolutely.
That's a really good advice. What is something that you get asked a lot when someone's working with you? What do you get asked the most?
Probably I get asked the most, why should I go with you? There's tons of different brokerages that I can go with. And I always say, that's a great question. And you know what? I don't know how other brokerages operate, but this is how we operate. And I let them know how we structure our team and, the information that I give them, they love. And, it's just developing that relationship. Yeah. It's just creating that to give them a sense of security so that, they feel that connection.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess the point I'm trying to come across with this is like, sales doesn't have to be a schwarmy business.
Right.
Because
it gets a bad rap.
It gets a
very bad rap. Yes. Yes.
So, like, what the message that I want to get across to people who are listening, who are thinking about a career in sales or are trying to build their business or trying to, gain a following or build an email list or whatever that might be, sales isn't really like you
have to
need
find your
sales.
niche. You have to find your niche, because I have to say, all these years and all, not that I worked for so many companies, because I was, like long-term at the companies, but I can't say I loved anything until I started working in real estate,
Really?
So you have to find your niche and where you feel like you belong. And when you are when I'm very passionate about something, then I excel at that. And, it's not that I'm trying to sell somebody something in real estate. I'm trying to help them. And I'm so passionate about it that that's just the way I am as a salesperson, because I want, from the bottom of my heart, I want what's best for them. And again, I want them to know that they need me more than I need them. Yeah. And I think that goes a long way.
Yeah, that's so true. And I think for people who are in a sales job, like they finding their niche.
I know, I
don't
said
know
niche, but I know.
Find their niche, whatever, is important, because whether they are
you're not going to be as excited either.
Yeah.
You're not going to be as excited when if it's something that you're not passionate about, you're not going to be excited, and they sense that, and you give up. And that's just, you don't want to wake up every morning hating your job. And I can honestly say this is the first job that I actually love. I'm just fortunate that I love my job now, but in any sales position, you can love it. It's just a matter of finding, what's best suited for you. Like, what are you most passionate about? We all have bills and stuff, and you definitely, you work for a reason, to get a paycheck. But at the same time, there has to be a healthy balance. And I think having a healthy balance, it will just make you a better person. And it will, it'll give you more opportunity.
Yeah. So one question that I ask every guest is, what do you typically do for lunch?
For lunch, sometimes I go home and walk my dog just to get the fresh air and release, and because I'm inside all day, so I like to get that fresh air. Sometimes I go do errands. Sometimes I'm meeting one of my friends for lunch, and that's fun, because it's hard. Everybody's got busy schedules, so every day's different for me. Every day's different.
That's cool.
I'm not a wing it person, but lunches I generally wing. I totally wing lunches.
That's funny.
Because, I'm not like okay, it's 12 o'clock, I have to go to lunch. It depends how busy I am. And, navigating my way through the day, that's, just figuring out what's, when there's, if any, a lull, I can, get out. But I think it's important to get out and, just your brain can recharge. Exactly.
Yeah.
One
thing that you were saying before, which if you can touch on it real quickly, is how being in a sales job, you need to be organized, and you have to have systems, and you have to have things set up. Sales isn't necessarily something that you can wing. Like you said, lunch is pretty much like the only thing
That's the only thing I wing. You can't wing sales.
Yeah. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, you have to have systems in place so that you have an agenda every day. And, like for myself, I pretty much do the same thing every day except for lunch. But, I have, I'm very organized. I can multitask, which is really good. But I do have systems in place where I can look exactly who I need to call, and what the situations are for that day. And you have to be organized. You have to be a planner, except for lunch. You definitely have to be a planner, because you have to, in my position now, I follow up a lot with people. And
how do you keep track of all of that?
It's all like, I have it all in a system in my computer. But the thing is that people remember. And when I give my word and I say, I'm going to call you Thursday at 5, I'm going to call you Thursday at 5. And that's important to me, that I follow through with everything I say I'm going to do. It means a lot to me as a salesperson, because I take pride in what I do. Yeah. So I use, systems in the computer, and I'm constantly, in that all day, every day.
What systems, can you share the system? Is it like an industry specific, or is it like?
So I use a few different actually CRMs, which is a customer relationship management program, platform. And, that helps me to navigate my way during the day, and it helps me to remember everything, because I can't remember everything. So I have to refer to my, CRM, and that helps me, and so I don't forget anything. Okay. I have tasks for myself.
Okay. And they kind of like remind you to do stuff.
They remind me, yep.
Okay.
They remind me.
Okay.
And that way I know I need to call this person, Maggie at 10, John at 2, and I don't forget anything, and I have everything in there so that I'm prepared when I call them. Okay. I know my last conversation. Here's another thing that brings me to another subject. When you're in sales, I think that note-taking is so important, because every conversation I have, I take a lot of notes, whether it be, that you like to go out to dinner, you like chocolate cake, you like chocolate chip cookies, anything that the customer can remember me by. Because when I call somebody, and probably a lot of you have this, where you call somebody and then they say, okay, I'm not ready now, call back. So I check back in with them 6 months from now. They're not going to remember you. So if I say, oh, we had that great conversation. Your daughter had the birthday party, and you had like 20 kids coming, and I told you my kids, around the same age. And, oh, that's right, I remember you. So you just pinpoint something that, in your notes that the customer on the other end will remember you by.
One thing that I try to do is remember their pets' names. That's huge for people.
Yes.
It's like their dog. Like if I go on an appointment and I'm introduced to their dog, I'll try and make a note of like who their dog or their cat or whoever that is.
People are crazy over their dogs.
Yeah.
And cats and whatever.
Yeah.
Crazy. I have a dog. So absolutely.
It's so important to like those little details, because that's what makes a difference to people.
Because they know that you're invested in them and you care. And, if you remember that and you say that, then they know it's okay to talk to you.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, she's legit.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Before we wrap up, do you have any other tips or tricks for people who are in a sales position that would help them?
Just work? Don't give up. Don't give up, and reach out if you need help.
Because I'm sure you get the word no a lot too, right?
Absolutely. And you know what?
You're rejected.
You know what? That brings me to a good point. Don't take things personal. You cannot take it to heart, and you can't, and you have to move on to the next. Everybody's going to get no. That's just what happens. That's the nature of the business. No matter what sales you're in, it's just going to happen. So just, don't take it to heart, and you just move on to the next. And, hard work pays off, definitely. Yeah. But find a niche that you really love. Niche.
Yeah.
Niche, whatever.
Yeah, who knows how to say that word? If you know how to say that word, please leave us a comment in the show notes so that we can properly pronounce the word. NICHE. Thank you. So if somebody wants to reach out to you, what's the best way to reach to you?
Absolutely. So by calling me would definitely be the best method.
Okay.
Call or texting. And my number is 518-417-4942. And I'm 100% accessible all the time. Okay. So if I don't answer, I'll call you right back, or you can text me. Absolutely. I'm always available.
Okay, cool. And is email, what if is email a better way?
Email is great too. O'Brien, ROBRIEN at mrgteam.com.
All right, cool. Thank you, Robyn.
Thank you, Maggie.
Yes. That was business development leader Robyn O'Brien. For more information on how to contact Robyn, visit our show notes at workinglunchpod.com. Follow us on Instagram and like us on Facebook. We're at Working Lunch Pod. And if there's someone who you'd like to be featured as a guest, email us at workinglunchpod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. Thank you so much for listening to Working Lunch. And remember, Your biggest strength is who you are.